Arguing with idiots. Smart debate with dimwits. Truth for those who care to look, and another way to sell our book.
That's right, Arguing with Idiots. This is a book where it shows you how to win all of the arguments. It is the best book of facts to win the argument of the free market system. The whole freedom thing is a good thing, at least with those of us here on the program. Today, a special White House edition of Arguing with Idiots.
Yeah, I heard your clip of Anita Dunn, the White House official who said Mao was one of her favorite political philosophers.
Yes.
But what you missed, Mr. Fatty Fatso, was that she got that from Republican Lee Atwater. Ah-ha! I got you on that one.
Yeah, we can't find that. We can't find any record of any Lee Atwater saying anything like that, And I can't say that I'm a Lee Atwater expert here, but I've heard nothing that indicates that Mao was Lee Atwater's favorite political philosopher. Or one that, what did Anita say? One that she turns to most often. I haven't seen anyone produce the evidence that she actually got this from him, but here's the thing. If Chairman Mao was Lee Atwater's favorite political philosopher, then Lee Atwater sucked as well. I don't care about the parties. That's your game, not mine.
Well, John McCain even quoted Mao in his speech. I didn't hear you complaining about John McCain.
Right. I've never been on the record complaining about John McCain. But here's the thing, and the White House should understand this. No one on the planet thinks that quoting someone is the same as naming them as their favorite political philosopher or someone they turn to most often. No one. If the White House believed any of their voters had more than 4 brain cells, they wouldn't even attempt to try this defense. For example, do you know who does a lot of quoting of Adolf Hitler?
Who?
Holocaust Museum. Yeah. But nowhere at the Holocaust Museum did they say Adolf Hitler was one of their favorite political philosophers. I think that would be newsworthy if they did.
Yeah, you won't talk about the comparisons you've made in the past, I noticed.
Yeah. The problem here is not making comparisons. Your line of attack is totally bizarre, and so is the White House. Why would comparing things be controversial? You could fairly describe a good portion of my job as comparing conservatism to liberalism. I think it's quite clear that there's one of them I like and one of them that I don't.
Well, you don't try to change the subject here. You brought Adolf Hitler up, and you won't talk about what you don't talk about ever, is the fact that you compared Adolf Hitler to Jesus. You don't even mention that, I noticed.
Who's got a blog organization reading my old books? You do. Well, it was as much of a comparison as my last point about Hitler and the Holocaust Museum. One used Hitler quotes for good, the other for evil. The point that I illustrated with Hitler and Jesus was that they both stood up and said, "Follow me, I have answers." One used that approach for good, love one another. The other used it for evil, kill all the Jews. But the larger point here is, we've come to a time where the White House is comfortable citing Mao, a man responsible for the deaths of 70 million people, as their favorite philosopher and the person they turn to most often, while we're supposed to feel bad about citing Jesus for any reason whatsoever. Well, guess what?
What?
Jesus is one of my favorite philosophers. The guy I turn to most often. In fact, in the countdown, he comes in all the way at number 1. And I don't apologize for it. I don't need a communications department to make excuses for it either.
I knew it! This is all about your religious zealotry. Well, guess what? You forgot one thing about the Bible.
Yeah, what's that?
Gluttony is one of the 7 deadly sins!
That's for listening, my